How's it going, guys? We are here at TNT Amusements. You can go to tntamusements.com if you want to check out more about this place. This is essentially a retro arcade where we have pinball machines, old arcade machines, and they fix machines here as well. It's a really, really cool place you can come out to.
Yeah, I think it's really cool how they have the parties here and you can play the games. They have like a showroom part where they have parties, but then they're also doing the restorations in the back.
Yeah.
That's also pretty cool.
They restore old pinball machines, they restore old arcade machines, and not just like old, like there's Neo Geo cabinets here, just everything you can imagine. It's really cool.
Yeah, they restore stuff that's old, but also stuff that's old, right?
Yeah.
It's like both, right? Yeah, so like the kind of stuff that we played as kids, like if you had like a Final Fight or Street Fighter or Dance Dance Revolution.
Yeah, they got a gauntlet right around the corner that's really cool. So yeah, there's 90s stuff, there's 80s stuff. They've even got stuff going back to the 70s and 60s, and old, beautiful old pinball machines. It's actually really interesting. But what we're gonna do here today, we are going to go around and just take a look at certain items and show you what they got, because there's some really cool stuff.
Let's go.
So this is 1960s Batman, but this just came out.
It looks
recently,
super
right?
January.
Yeah.
This came out in January.
So what had happened was, for a very, very long time, you would go into the video store and you would see The Twilight Zone on VHS tape, or you would see Star Trek on VHS tape, and I would always say to myself, where's the 1960s Batman? Why are all these other shows? But they went through all those licensing rights, and finally, in the last year, it came out on Blu-ray, and all the rights opened up, and they were starting to do a Batman 66 comic book. So I would imagine that this came out as part of that whole thing, where the rights have all been now cleared up for the 60s Batman franchise, and I had always wanted to see something like this. This machine is beautiful, and it's something that should have existed back in the day, but it's nice that now we're actually seeing this.
Well, it's interesting because this is the first use of a television set right here, see? And it uses clips from the show, Blu-ray clips that they got, but it's not programmed yet for the voices. So it has very limited voices, so you don't actually hear them talk to you.
So this is like the beta of
Yes.
I noticed right here there's a little card that comes with it. There was actually
and this is the plastic to cover it.
There's a deck of cards that came with the Blu-ray set, and the art looks the same, so I'm wondering if they were
like
doing
all the products.
They were doing something. Yeah, this is connected to the Blu-ray. Obviously it is, because we're looking at Blu-ray clips on this as well. So this is all part of one big marketing campaign that they were doing.
And it's the premium edition. So this is the...
It should be the Bat premium edition.
It should be. I think it's interesting. There's actually two screens on this system. There's the big screen
color
up here, and then there's also a little screen actually on the playfield. And I like I feel like the lighting on this particular pinball machine, it feels pretty unique. Like, doesn't it feel like it's like...
It's very colorful.
It's very colorful. Are there's all LEDs in here?
Oh, yes. Everything is LED now.
That's
LEDs
awesome.
is the way it is. Good shot. No, I got it in the red. All right, shoot the back though. Gonna have to hit it soon or it's gonna cut off. Oh, close.
Almost.
That's more for you. But I couldn't hit it if I was great enough. But it's tough playing on the right. Now,
here comes the penguin.
Now you have to hit the penguin. See, the purple lights underneath the ball. So this will move and light up the right X. So you want to try to get all the X's. It's going to add up everybody.
What I will say is cool about this, you know, they don't just have the Joker and the Penguin. They actually include all the more obscure villains. You got Shane and King Tut, and you got Vincent Price in there. So they do a good job of representing everything that the show was about.
You knew if this machine was here, we were going to talk about it.
Okay, so my favorite pinball machines, Twilight Zone and this one right here. Obviously, Ryan and I always talk about Star Trek, but we always talk about what's a good Star Trek game. Starfleet Academy is one that I love, but the majority of Star Trek games that have ever been released, almost all suck. Think about the one on NES or
Star Trek
Nintendo.
2009.
Star Trek 2009
right.
pretty much sucked. That was a very buggy, glitched game. That game had more bugs than Starship Troopers, right? This game is beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful arcade machines you'll ever find. Everything that you would want about Star Trek The Next Generation is in this game. You have the Enterprise, you have the entire cast right up here on top. This must have come out around the 6th season when they were doing the Descent episode.
I wanted to say that this machine is very much set in the era that you see it in. Like, they're like, what's hot right now? You got Hugh, you got the Borg ship from Descent.
You can tell by their outfits, and especially by Troy's outfit, that this was done, and the ship and everything, this was done 5th, 6th season of the show, when the show was at its absolute height, when it was one of the #1 shows on television. So it was very, very popular at the time when they must have done this. And I love that everything's included. You have Romulans, you have Borg, you have Klingons, you have Ferengi, you have a Borg ship. I think that it's interesting that they went with this Borg ship and not the classic cube.
Yeah.
You got Hugh, he's up here. You got Romulan Warbird. You got a Bird of Prey. I don't know what these things are. That's not from Star Trek.
They move. They're like claws, but I don't think they're from Star Trek anywhere.
Those are the only odd thing to me. That's my only complaint. I don't like the claws. This one's creepy.
Isn't that neat? So there's 5 images hiding.
Oh, he's blowing the bubble.
Oh, we have a missile command. Okay, that answers
There it
that.
is. Yeah, I was asking you about Missile Command earlier.
Look, I just didn't remember.
The coolest thing about Missile Command is it has this gigantic trackball.
The 4-inch trackballs.
Look at this thing.
Only used in
awesome.
5 games, and never again. And that was the end of the line. There's only one guy that makes the rollers for this. Arcade Shops makes the 4-inch rollers, the special rollers to rebuild them.
Yeah, you know what?
That makes it worth money.
Yeah. One of my mom's friends actually had one of these in their basement. So the last time I saw one of these things, I had to like step on a step stool. These cabinets. I had to step on a step stool to play it.
Every Pac-Man game, for the most part, has been ported in some way to home console. Like Junior Pac-Man was on Atari 2600. They've never ported Baby Pac-Man because half of it is a pinball machine. But now, if you've ever seen, this is my idea that I've come up with, the Nintendo DS, how it has the dual screens. I think if they did the bottom screen as the pinball and the top screen as the game, it could be done as a home port.
Is Nintendo listening to Mike? If they do this, you deserve to get a little money.
I say a lot of things like this. I said one time in a Mario Kart video, they got something wrong with the menu screen. It was like 2 weeks later, they changed the game.
Somebody's
I don't know.
watching
Somebody's watching.
So when I saw this Zaxxon, I was like, oh wow, this is really cool. By the way, this is a really crappy game. It's like awful.
I do not like Zaxxon.
Because it's like a isometric shooter,
and the level of the plane, like you'll just smash into the wall, and it's like
it's not fun. But it was one of the first games I ever played, and it's cool that they have it here, and it's Sega. And so it's interesting to think that it's a Sega game.
Yeah,
it was on Coleco and
Sega
arcade.
Gremlin,
whatever that means.
Because like Valley Midway,
like a Gremlin, like the AMC Gremlin cars. Is that what it is?
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
actually,
right. Yeah.
But so what about Zaxxon though?
I don't know. It's just like my first gaming memories was playing Zaxxon.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because we had those 3 games.
Oh, actually, right here, I should tell James about this because this is what James wants.
Yeah, Street Fighter Tournament.
It would obviously have to be fixed up a little bit if we were going to pick it up for James, but I think he might be able to play it like this. I mean, this is fun.
We could like reenact it like a puppet show.
Yeah, you and I will just get in there.
We just start punching each other. Yeah.
But there's an actual Street Fighter. This is what I was actually talking about. James is looking to get a Street Fighter machine, so I'm gonna have to. Oh wait, no.
Street Fighter 1.
That's Street Fighter 1. Never mind.
Oh man.
He's looking to Street Fighter 2. That's hilarious. Imagine. Yeah. He gets it delivered to his house and it's that fucking thing.
He's like, what the fuck? Enjoy Street Fighter.
He would like murder me. Right?
This is Children of the Atom, which this is in the same series of games that had Marvel versus Capcom and X-Men versus Street Fighter. This is
the
from
one
that era.
Yeah, this is not the popular one basically. Yep, there's Polybius.
There's Polybius.
Yeah, he's got about 20 of those here. Crystal Castles is a really cool game. This is a great example of a game you're not going to want to emulate this game because if you try to play this on a controller, on a D-pad, it's the worst game ever. You have to play this game with a trackball. So this is the only way to play Crystal Castles. I actually really love this game. It's got really cool art, and there aren't like a ton of trackball games, but this is a good one for sure. By the way, look at all the shit. Look at the Demolition Man pinball machine. this game is actually a lot of fun. It's not the greatest game to play by yourself, as I'm doing right now. This game's fun because the other person can be an asshole, basically. It's kind of amazing to see what this game looks like, because I'm used to playing it on Atari 2600, so this looks awesome in comparison. In fact, I think it even looks better than how it looked on NES, even for Super Mario Brothers 3. So, I mean, that's usually true in general, though. Like, see the Koopas? How the Koopa's like purple and that Koopa's like red? Like later on, as the Mario games got more popular, all the Koopas looked more like the classic Koopas you would see from the Mario games. Like they'd all be green. These look more like actual turtles. So it's interesting going back, and the side art is beautiful on this. Just everything about it. If you were gonna own an arcade machine, I think that this would be a good one to own because it's fun to play with a friend. All right, guys, here we are with the Ghostbusters pinball machine. This is pretty awesome. Obviously, the thing is beautiful. The artwork and the artwork down here. There is a Slimer that drops down, which I think is pretty cool. I was playing a little bit earlier and I kept hitting that. One thing that's pretty awesome about this is that there's actual voices from the movie, and I believe they actually got Ernie Hudson to record actual voices for the game. Ryan was just playing it a minute ago. What'd you think of it?
I think it's pretty cool. This is one of the new Stern pinball machines. This game came out in 2016, which is pretty neat. It's got all of the classic characters from the movie. It's got the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
There he is.
It's got Slimer. It's got a lot of the funny things that you saw in the movie, like the book stacking and Spook Central and Psychokinetic Energy and the Firehouse and just all the stuff.
And the fact that
cool.
This game just came out, I can imagine this has got to be a very desired item because, again, there aren't too many great Ghostbuster games out there. There's the Ghostbuster Xbox game, which is pretty good. But the real Ghostbusters arcade game, I always found to be another one of those sort of, you get tired of it very quickly. Right. Obviously, we know the NES game was terrible, so there's not like a huge backlog of great Ghostbuster games, but this is a Ghostbusters game that any fan, I think, would want. It's absolutely beautiful. It's kind of funny that, they just came out with the 1966 Batman,
right.
And now this is coming back. They're doing a lot of that. I see a lot of times if you go to a casino nowadays, you'll see like old shows, like there'll be like a Gilligan's Island,
right.
Slot machine and stuff like that. So it's really cool that they're bringing back a lot of old franchises and releasing them now. But I guess they're doing that because now we're adults and we're the market for that now.
Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna want to have like a home arcade and you have the money for it, you want like a pinball machine, and if it could be about something that you liked before, whether it's a Ghostbusters, Batman, Star Trek, whatever.
Yeah.
Then you'll get something like this, and with the LED lighting on the new machines, it just
beautiful.
Looks awesome, and it's so clear, and just the craftsmanship's really good.
All right, so Ryan decided to take a crack at the safe game, and so the idea here is obviously you're trying to open a safe, but as you're turning the dial, you're listening for a little click. And what I didn't understand about the game is when you hear the click, you have to push it in, but not only that, it has to be the right click. So he's trying to listen very carefully as I talk loudly, and he's getting progressively more and more angry because the more I talk, the more he can't concentrate. So I'm just going to keep talking now. This is like that game on Price is Right with Bob Barker. There was a safe crack game, pretty sure.
Really?
Or it's like any safe that ever existed. But this is a game.
Yeah.
So it's more like the Price is Right. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed TNT Amusements, The Safe.